It's back. It's Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow, we investigate. And that takes us to 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, and I've not actually filmed anything else for the rest of the week. Obviously, the BMW came late Wednesday night. I wanted to do some content like on that car again, but obviously I didn't have the car, so I haven't been able to do it. Also, the week previously pretty much burnt me out and also skinted me out. So this week I have been bagging this F80 M3. Now, I needed to get this done. It was a pre-made boot build and stuff. I'll show you in a sec, but it wasn't worth me filming because there wasn't a lot to film. It was just me installing what's on there. So yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. 3H system, so it's got height sensors. Height sensor, just there, obviously. Bag strut. Leader line goes underneath all the under tray, etc. to the back. Same again. Height sensor, bag, air shock. Jobs are good. And show you the boot now. There you go. First aid kit. It goes over there. Just got to realign these hard lines underneath here because they've all been moved back. This whole system was like out here a bit, so I pushed it all back. So these lines need to be realigned and shortened and whatnot. But yeah, it all hangs underneath there. Everything's in there. LEDs wired up to the boot light. Pretty tidy little setup. But yeah, haven't really had anything interesting to film this week due to the fact not having the BMW and just getting some bills paid because last week absolutely skinted me out. I'm not even going to joke. Poor. So yeah, E34. There's quite a lot of things that, you lot commented on it. I see everyone was like commented on it saying like hard luck and stuff. So thank you to those people. It was hard luck. I think to learn from that is that what I do believe is still true to this day, and don't let the magic out. And when I say don't let the magic out, it means unopened engines are the best, and they will always be the best because the manufacturer put them together that way. And we probably should have just bought another engine to start with because the block and etc. the rest of the engine was unknown on that E34. And by trying to save a few pennies by doing all the work ourselves has stung in the arse in the long run. But there's a lot of people that commented saying, oh, you should have done this, should have done that. Everything was pretty much new on that car apart from the viscous, and a lot of people commented on the viscous set, basically assuming that if the viscous was new it wouldn't have happened. I think the common misconception of what's actually happened here is that the head gasket never actually sealed correctly. Now that could be a number of things: shitty head gasket, torque sequence not gone correctly, because I've read up afterwards you're supposed to go over them again once the engine is hot, which is weird, but apparently that. So yeah, that could have been an issue, or there was an issue with the block to start with, so it didn't make a good seal on putting it all back together. So yeah, the sad reality is that the viscous didn't cause a head gasket and overheating issue. It was the fact that I got to the M25 roadworks at the same time as the engine physically ran out of coolant, because it was going into the engine and there was obviously no coolant in the engine. So that's what overheated it the most. No coolant, temp sensor doesn't read correctly. It's a bad time for everyone involved, and it was just luck of the draw that I made the traffic and lose coolant at the same time. But it is what it is. I just thought I'd clear that up. Thanks for everyone for the comments. Obviously, this time in 2 weeks, that car was supposedly meant to be in Poland. It's still a big task, but I think it still is doable. A lot of people said engine swap it. Obviously, that's not going to be done in 2 weeks. Number two, I don't want to. I just want it to be a cruiser. If we engine swapping it, it has to be then manual swaps, and then all sorts of other things need to be done, etc. So it's not as easy as just swapping it and whatnot. As great as that would be, not that car. That car is cool. Also, even just putting a standard engine back in it is quite expensive because, like I said before, E30 engine, 325, M20, it's not cheap. It's not a cheap engine. They're all like basically like 800 to a grand for another engine. And after last week, I've been skinned. It's like, oh man, I can't even afford to, put a whole new engine in it 2 weeks before. So this morning, I've been on a jolly up and I've found a solution. I say a jolly up, it was a 507 round trip miles. It was a long time. I was gonna pull this apart and inspect this in this video, but obviously this video goes up in like 2.5 hours. So we ain't got time to do that, but yeah, the car's here. I'll show you what I got for it. No, I didn't get it a caddy van. It's what inside the caddy van. That's what we need. No, it wasn't tyres. We have another M20. Now you're thinking, where did you pull that from? Was it the bottom of the sea? Almost. This was right on the coast, and I mean on a cliff edge in Torquay, which is literally 4.5 hours away from me. So yeah, we have another M20. Now this M20 came out of apparently a low mileage automatic E30. So you can see the flex plate there. I got this from a friend that I bought a bunch of parts from before. I bought my manual swap for my Toyota, and I've also bought the manual swap for my E36. It's from a good friend of mine. So he told me that he had this before I put the cylinder head, etc., on the E34. I said to him in the message that, don't worry, I'm just going to put a head on it and just forget about it and carry on for the rest of my life. And then obviously after last weekend, I then messaged him back like, oh, how much? So he's like, I've got one, 500 quid, you can have it. So here we have low mileage E30 engine. Now this was destined for a Triumph. Don't ask, but that's what it was destined for. And it was a runner when it was parked, which is why it was parts. These people that I got it from, they absolutely love their classic cars, and they do the craziest sort of engine swaps, but they're like off-grid, so you'll never see them. You'll never see them, but when I go there and pick some parts off them, it's a good time, and they're lovely blokes that they've sorted me out a little deal on this one. Now, I don't know how many miles it's on, but apparently it's been sat for 10 years, this engine. It's like fully complete, comes with ECU and stuff, but the loom has been chopped out. It's just obviously yanked out of an E30 and then just sort of like left to a side. It's a good engine, we'll keep hold of that. And that is exactly what has happened. So obviously what we're going to do is strip everything off it. Inlet, rocker cover, ancillaries, thermostat housing, everything like the loom, and we'll basically just use everything off our current E34 and then put it onto this one. Clean up the areas that need cleaning up, of course, and then obviously rebuild this engine with our new shiny vape hone pieces. E30 to E34, what's the difference? A few things, I believe. Number one, sump. This is a front sump, but I believe the E34 is actually a different sump, potentially rear. I might be lying, but we're going to swap the sump anyway. I've ordered a new sump gasket. This looks like a different sump anyway, so I'm going to change it. We have our engine mounts, which actually look like they may have been stolen off this engine already, but our engine mounts, we're going to obviously swap those over from the E34 onto this. This thing here is the dipstick for the oil, and this being an automatic is probably very fitting to our automatic 525, so pretty happy with that. I don't know if this is like a high compression one. If you're an E30 guy, they did like the early one was like a high compression engine, so they're worth a little bit more, and the later ones were obviously lower compression than these. I don't know which one this is, but it doesn't really matter. It's going in the E34 and it's an automatic and you're never going to get any real power out of it anyway. So yeah, there you go. That's what's happening here. I just thought I'd do a little video to summarize what's happened, just go over a few things and just let you know what is going to be happening this weekend. And of course, the dub van got us there and back. I left at 3:30 this morning. That's when I got in the van. No troubles at all. I got a few friends coming over at the weekend to give this a birthday with me. Hopefully get it done, all of it, and have it driving by the end of the weekend again and drive it for the entire of next week. Because if I drive it all next week and it's all good, then I'll be more confident, because the week after, Thursday morning, we have a 6 a.m. ferry to drive to Poland. It's very scary, but I think we'll be all right. So yeah, get excited for a video on Tuesday. I will keep you updated. Thank you all for being patient with me. Appreciate it. See you later.